I'm in my late 20s now, and I've been thinking to myself, how much money should I have saved by 30? What's up guys, Nam here. If you're new to this channel, here I typically talk about personal finance and investing. In today's topic, I'm gonna talk about how much money you should have saved by 30. So in a recent article by CNBC and Fidelity, the average balance of a 401k for a 30-something is about $42,000. Fidelity also found that 30-somethings contribute about 8% of their paychecks into the 401k. But the thing about this data is that it's only Fidelity's data, and it doesn't take into account people without retirement savings. Almost a quarter of US adults don't have any. After I read this article, I thought to myself, well, that's not too bad. Millennials are doing okay. Then I pondered another idea. What about net worth? Net worth is basically anything that can be translated to value. This includes equity that you have in your car, equity that you have in a house, and of course, your 401k or retirement savings. According to CNN Money, the average net worth of millennials under 30 is about $8,500. So this had me thinking, how are we saving more for retirement, but our net worth is so low? Probably the biggest contributing factor is student loan debt. So we're saving more money, but we're having more debt as well. On the bright side, for people in their 20s, they have more time on their side, so they have more time to pay down debt. But to get back on track, this video is about how much money they should have saved by the age of 30. How much money should we be saving for retirement? To answer this question, this really comes down to the lifestyle and your spending habits that you want to pursue when you retire and when you want to retire. Someone who wants to retire in 40 years compared to someone who wants to retire in 10, their strategy is going to be completely different. I will share with you with some of the most popular methods on figuring out how much money that you should be saving for retirement. The income multiplier. Fidelity, which is one of the largest investment companies, said that by the time you're 30, you should have saved half of your annual salary. So if you're earning $50,000 by the age of 30, you should have saved at least $25,000 for retirement. By age 40, you should have twice the amount of your annual salary. By age 50, 4 times your salary. By age 60, 6 times. And by age 67, 8 times your salary. So with this type of logic, by the time you're 67 years old and you're earning $75,000 per year, you should have about $600,000 saved. The average life expectancy in America is about 78 years old. So if you retire and live another 11 years, you should have about $54,000 a year to live off of. But what if you live another 10 or 20 years? If you live another 20 years longer after you retire, you probably run out of money. The Richest Man in Babylon method. If you have ever read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, which is a personal finance classic, The Richest Man in Babylon suggests that you pay yourself first. By paying yourself first, you should have saved at least 10% of your income to invest. For example, say you're 23 years old, fresh out of college, and now you're entering the workforce. If you were to make $50,000 a year with no promotions, which is unlikely, and you invest 10% of your income a year until the age of 65, you would have $1.2 million at a 7% return. The Dave Ramsey method. Dave Ramsey is one of the OGs in personal finance. He's super famous for his baby step method. If you want to follow Dave Ramsey's baby steps, he suggests that you put aside 15% of your income for retirement, but only once you pay down debt. In this situation, if you were to invest 15% of your income at the age of 23, you would have $1.8 million at the age of 65. The 50-30-20 rule. Another common budgeting plan is the 50-30-20% rule, where you set aside 50% of your income for living expenses, 30% for everyday spending, and 20% for savings or retirement. If you were to follow this rule and you were to invest 20% of your income into retirement, you would have about $2.4 million. The thing is that when you're under 30, you can more likely get away with setting aside 10 to 15% of your income for retirement. As you get older, you may have to put more aside if you haven't started investing for retirement already. When I'm talking about 10 to 20% for retirement, this number also includes the company match if you have one. So if your company offers a 4% match and you put in 6%, now you have a total of 10% set aside for your retirement. If you're unable to save 10 or 20% for retirement, try to save as much as you can. But make sure you can save enough to get the full benefit of a company match if one is offered. Always say yes to free money. Don't feel bad if you don't have the average retirement savings by the time you're 30. You still have time. You may have to invest a little bit more aggressively. You still haven't hit your peak of your earning potential. So as you grow career-wise, you can put more money for retirement and make up for lost time. The popular Chinese proverb goes, the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Come hang out with me some more on my videos over here to learn more about personal finance.